Well, good evening. This is Gina Tudela, and I'm going to be showing you the third card I did in classes this week, and it's going to be the third one from doing a silhouette using the Regal Reindeer stamp set and the dies. So, I did 2 other videos this week, and the second one, of course, was sideways, which I apologize. I had to make sure that my camera this time was right on my phone. And for some reason, the N-Swan takes too much power, and I'm not getting enough power off of my laptop, so I've got to check that out. Anyways, so hopefully I'll have that all worked out come Monday night. Anyway, so here's the dies, and we used this one and this one on Wednesday night, which was last night, and then we used this one on Monday night. So the one we're going to use tonight is this one that goes with this reindeer. But we're not stamping the reindeer, we're just making a silhouette card. So, here we go. Move everything out of my way. First off, I've got everything cut out and prepped. So, but I'm going to show you what I did so that way you still know. First off, I used Pool Party, and it's cut the different way. On the 8.5 side, it's cut at 4 1/4 by 11. And then you just fold it in half. And then I cut an extra piece of the basic white, and it's cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and that's for the inside of the card. For those people that you like to write a message to that you haven't seen throughout the year, we're going to leave the stamping on the inside left over. You can add that, but want to do it as a personalized card. Hello, my dear son, Jonathan. So, anyways, so the next thing we're going to do is I've already got the 1 3/4 white circle out of the basic white punched out. This is in the online store. This is the Granny Apple Green, and it's a 2-inch circle, and it's in the online store. And then this is Old Olive, and it's a 2 3/8 inch circle. Hello, Danny. And those 3 will line up. So I'll show you how to do that afterwards. And this is the beautiful paper that's from the Joy of Christmas. And it's in the mini catalog. And it's from the 12 by 12 grouping. And I've used that paper for the last couple weeks in classes. So the back side of it is a pretty red. But we're going to be using this part because I like it to go with with animals and nature. So anyways, and so this one is measured at 3 inches by 4 inches. On my 12 by 12 paper, I like to cut it at even numbers so there's no waste. So just to give you a heads up. So those of you that are making comments, I can't type you because I have to wait till I can get the N-Swan connected to my computer, and it said that it wasn't getting enough power. I checked that all out today, so now I got to do some finagling and figure it out. Probably I'll talk to my son, Jonathan, and Danny. They may be able to help me out there. I also took and cut out, we no longer have the shimmery white cardstock, but I used the die that's in the Regal Reindeer stamp set, which I just had, and I just moved it out of my way. And it has 2 snow seams. I forgot to show that to you. So they are, there's one here and there's one here. So to make snow drifts. And it also has the trees, the evergreen trees, and a single tree, and a little boy too. So, because there's little boys in that picture. But I'll be showing more. Love that stamp set. It was in last year's holiday mini, and it got carried over into the annual catalog. So, first tidbits. This was cut out using the die. And just to show you, I'm not going to do it tonight. I've done it in the first 2 videos. When you're doing the die cutting with the dies, you need to use the number 1, number 2, Let me put that in the picture, number 1 and number 2. And you use number 3, and there's 2 3s. That is the cutting plates. And what you're going to do is you lay your paper on the cutting plate, and then you lay the die where you want it. You can use painter's tape, washi tape to hold it, or even Post-it note. Most people have Post-it note. Hi, Deborah. We all have Post-it notes in our office supplies, so that's what I recommend because then it doesn't leave stickiness on your residue. Then you're going to put your cutting plate in, and then you're going to roll it in your die cutting machine. So just make believe that we've already done that. So then we're going to take this out, and I'll move that out of the way. Then we're going to use this wonderful embossing folder, which I have used the last 2 nights on there. And we're going to emboss the piece that we did the die cutting. So when you do that, you have to take out number 2. Okay? You don't need number 2. So you just need a number 3. And then you use your embossing folder. And the images on this, if you can't see it here, they are this way, not this way. So when you put your paper in there, you want to make sure that you put your paper there right. And so what I did is I brought this all the way in the center. The first one I did on the right, the second one I did on the left, and this one we're just going to do in the center. And you close it up, and then you make sure that your folded edge goes in, the folded edge where it's clasped. And then you put your cutting plate on top. And then you roll it through the machine. And you only need to roll it through 1 time. And it does the work. And so this one will bring it up close to you. And therefore, you can see how it's all nice and raised up. This is called dry embossing. So, I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way so I can show you the next steps. But every time I brought the big machine in there, so a lot of people couldn't see that. So I just thought I'd walk you through it without that. Sorry about the noise there, but I had to move that big machine out of my way because I've only got a small working space. So what we're going to do now is take the blending brush, and we're going to use the Mossy Meadow ink pad. And I like to show minimal supplies, especially when people are first starting out stamping or they're new to it. They may not have everything. Us avid stampers who have been stamping for years or got hooked on it and got to have everything. So I try to show minimal supplies of what everybody needs. Anyways, the first thing you're going to do is, I'll bring the pad in where it's in the picture. You're just going to tap around the pad. And let me get this over here. And you're going to start off the paper, and you're going to go in a circular motion. That way the ink is grabbed onto the paper. And you don't have to push hard on there. And when you do hold the blending brush, you want to hold both fingers at the top because the brush here is very narrow. And if you were forcing it this way, you can break it. So, especially on the small render brushes. So, just in case you can't see very well, you can see how it's changed the tone. And you don't have to make it all dark. It's good to add just color around it, just to add and enhance it, because it's going to go through this window. And then we're going to add around here. Now, you could stamp the reindeer on white paper and die cut it out and place it in that window. But then it takes coloring. So if you're planning to make 10 to 12 or 20 cards, you kind of don't want to do that because it would take you a little bit of time, because coloring does take a lot of time. So I'm going to go over here and enhance the back side, give it like a shadow effect. There we go. And then we're going to move this out of the way, but I wanted to show you based on that. Okay. Now, that's out of the way. Now we're going to do this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight. You're going to start off the paper. you're going to highlight all the raised areas. So as I do this, I'm going to bring it back up to the camera where y'all can see. But you'll see how it just stands out. I'll get half of it done and then bring it up to the camera as I'm doing this. But for those of y'all who don't know me, I have been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since June of 1997. My boys grew up with me doing Stampin' Up! They've earned some of the rewards. They've gone on a couple of trips with me. So, but I enjoy showing people how to create with their hands. It just really makes me feel wonderful. And it makes them feel good too when they see that they have done it. They couldn't believe that they've made that. So see how those stand out? You saw it before and it wasn't, you saw it raised, but it wasn't enhanced. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more to the L's over here and the Chris. So I see that they didn't get enough there. There we go. Now you'll see it's even. Okay. All right. Last but not least, remember the white one that has the bunny? We're going to color that with the blending pens. So I'm going to use the blending pens. And the blending pens are great. They make it look like you've watercolored with no effort. So I'm going to use a fine tip because the bunny is small. And all I do is enhance the ear and his nose and his cheek. So you're just going to color right there. And then just do the tip of the nose and right there on the cheek. And make sure that they click closed because these are alcohol markers. What that means is they instantly dry. You can color these on any type of surface. They're just like Sharpies, except don't use them if they're brand new because they'll ruin your brush part. And then we're just going to go back and enhance this with I use Light Flirty Flamingo, and this one is Light Smoky Slate. So I'm going to color the body with the brush, but then I'm going to open up the pen tip side to color the smaller detail so I don't go outside the lines. There we go. And then I'm going to highlight the feet a little bit darker. And then you can go on those lines and enhance that. And so when I bring this up to the camera, you'll understand what I mean by that. It just gives it that. So, see how that looks? It looks like it's watercolored, but it's not. Then we're just going to take the blending brush and gently go around the outside edge to give it a soft tone of green, which is the Mossy Meadow, but we don't want it as dark as what we were using earlier. And some of the ladies did it on their circles, but I'm not. I'm not going to do it on the Granny Apple Green or the Old Olive. But they know they can do whatever they want when they're in class because this is their card. So, first things first, find my multi-purpose glue. We're going to glue. And remember, when you're putting things together, always do your smallest first. And I've got enough green. I use the Tombow multi-purpose glue basically because it gives me time to line up and get it centered. I'll bring it into the camera. And then you just give it a moment and it gets set in. And then I'll do it again on the back of the Granny Apple Green. And I try to stay away from the outside edges because the wet glue does seep out. And then you would have to clean that up, which we don't want to have to do that. And then I'm just looking to see if I got it centered, and I do. See? Okay. Then on the back side, let me just close my glue up for a moment. And we are done with the ink pad, so you're just going to pull and close. And put this brush over there. So next we're going to add the regular size Stampin' Dimensionals. And we're going to take, and we're going to put one in the center. one here, one here, and one here, and here. And then we're done with that for the time being. So now we're going to be working on this piece. So first off, we want to add the ribbon. So if I didn't show you the done card, I want to show you the done card. It's in a cello bag. So this is what it's going to end up looking like. Isn't that beautiful? So there we go. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the tear tape over here on either side just to hold the ribbon. And when it says tear tape, it is tear tape. So you just lay that on there on either side. And then you're going to rub it back and forth. And then I take the take your pick tool. But if you don't have that, you can use your regular paper snips. Everybody needs a pair of scissors. So you can use your paper snips. But I'll show with the paper snips on one side to help pull it up. And then to take your pick tool. And I usually grab it right there in the center. And it helps pull it right up. So either tool will work. Whatever works best for you that you have. Then we're going to take the ribbon. And this is the Pool Party. It's 3/8 of an inch. And we only need about 4.5 inches. So I usually lay it on the image and give myself about 1 inch on either side. And you see what I did here? Yes, I got ribbon on there. The reason for the ribbon is to let you know not to use it on anything else but fabric or ribbon. Because once you've cut paper with it, it doesn't want to cut the fabric ribbon at all. So we're going to turn this back over and we're going to lay this on here. And then you're going to just press and then press. So next we're going to put the dimensionals on. So we're going to go ahead and use one here, one here, one here. Hello, Suzanne. I see your picture up there on my TV screen. We're going to put one here. I saw Deborah on here too. I see her image on there. So, did you get your package today, Suzanne? I hope so. She was one of the winners from the Monday night drawing from the poll that I put on Saturday. And you're probably saying, oh my gosh, so many? Yes, well, we have to have them because we're doing a silhouette and it's raised up and you've got to put the reindeer through the window, so we don't want it to where it gets caught. So we got enough of those, but then we need a couple of minis because we don't want it hanging in the window. So we're going to put a mini here, and we're going to put a mini there, and then we're going to put a mini right here. Now, we got to cut a small sliver for here, between the legs. So I'm going to use the paper snip and cut a small sliver out. There we go. And place that right on there. Okay. So the next step we're going to do is you can use your paper snips or take your pick tool. So we're going to go and you're going to poke. This makes it so easy to pull them off. And you can go all the way around. Okay, I already got that one. There's the little ones. The little ones are very easy to come up. There's that one. There's that one. It dropped back down. On the other side, which we don't want that to happen. Trying to keep my sweater sleeve out of there. There we go. There we go. Get that piece off. And I think I got just a few more on the back side here. So have any of y'all started doing your Christmas cards? Let me know in the comments. Before you know it, Christmas will be right upon us. And then you just hold it up in the air and you can see where all the holes are. And you can tell that you have put the dimensionals there. So we're going to put that to the side and get that ready. So here we go. First things first, we're going to mount the DSP on this side. So I'm going to take the Tombow multi-purpose glue and add this. And I always put a little bit in the center. And I'll pick that up. And the good thing about this paper, there is no right or wrong side, up or down. It doesn't matter because the leaves are going on every direction there is. So when I line this up, I'm looking here, I'm looking here, and I'm looking here. There we go. Now, we're going to bring this piece in and take your time. So we're going to line this up there. There we go. And then press down all the way. It's almost like doing a shaker card too. So, and I see that is raised up. There we go. Now, the mousse. Okay, so I took my silicone pad into the other room, and I don't have it here, but this one's not got the nitty-gritty, so this will be easy to glue. So you're just going to go around in a circle of motion and add the glue, especially where the feet are. Just don't get too much on it. There we go. And you're going to take your time when you pick this up, and you're going to place it through that window. And then you're going to go through there. Now, this is where your bone folder or your scissors will help you press down on that. Okay, where's my scissors at? Here we go. This one here needs a little bit of, there we go. There we go. And see how it sets in? See that? It's all set in. Now, we're going to go ahead and take, so you can use your paper snips or take your pick tool, just poke in the center, pull up. They just come right up. Most of the time, some of them are trying to be stubborn with me tonight. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then you're just going to eye this, and it can go up. It can go down here, but I want it to go over here to the center. And then make sure my sentiment is straight. You just press down. Now we're going to add some of the gold twine. And it's about 8 inches long. And you're just going to slide it up underneath here. So here's a tip. When you're tying gold twine, silver twine, anything that's like a rope edge, you want to tie it in a knot before you try to make a bow. That's a helpful hint. So you're just going to tie it just like that, pull it tautly, and then you're just going to make your bow. A lot of people are trying to tie bows without, and then just hold on to your knot and tighten up your ends and pull it to your liking. And then trim it off afterwards. Now all we got to do is we're going to add a little bit of bling with our Rhinestone Basic Jewels. And always try to do it in an odd amount. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing 1, 2, 3, or 2, but then you want to use a different one. So tonight, we're going to go and do 2. I'm going to put one here. And this is the smallest one. And this has another end, so I just want to show you that. And you always want to make sure that you get your putty ready, and it will pick it up after you've pushed it. And then I'm going to put one here. Then I'm going to use one small one. Knocked it loose, so that way it still has the adhesive backing to it. And when your putty doesn't want to stick anymore, all you have to do is screw this out, break off the dry part, and have it come out. And then I'm going to put this one right there on the reindeer's nose. And there you have it. And then on the inside, we'll add the white piece. But I usually don't glue them in. The main reason is in case I mess up writing a message, I can always cut me a new piece of white paper. But I want to thank you for joining me. Reach out to your local demonstrator. Contact her if you need any supplies. And I also want to give you a heads up. We have a promotion going on till the end of this month, which is for Stampin' Up! Celebrating their 35 years anniversary. So to learn more information about it, they're offering the kit for $64.35 to buy $125 in merchandise. If that's not enough for you, the other option is you'll also be entered into being able to see the onstage online, and that's for all demonstrators for any level, and that's going to be for November 11th, and you'll be automatically registered for that. So reach out to your local demonstrator, ask her more questions, and if you don't have one, you're welcome to reach out to me. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.